Hello! Welcome to Melbourne Musos. My name's Quinlan, and what I want to talk about tonight is a little bit more guitar. I haven't played guitar for a while, and I thought, well, tonight's the night to do just a very simple show with my trusty old acoustic and talk about just simple things about chords and just simple things about how you can fill in chords doing different things with them. Now, that's a bit airy-fairy. Let me explain myself. Basically what goes on is I just played a very simple open blues straight off the cuff for the show. So what it is I just started off with a good old C chord. That's what we start off with. Now, if I was to play any song that had a C chord for 4 bars, and I just did this, something like that, that's fine, that's correct if the song actually wants you to do that, and then the song comes together with singing and other things. Fantastic. But sometimes that can be seen as a little bit plain, okay, just plain vanilla, if you will. So what happens is if we think of chords in a slightly different way, okay, now when we look at chords, there are 3 main kinds of chords. There are what we call open chords, all these kinds of things, good old open chords like G, A minor, E minor, C, all this sort of business. Then you have what we call bar chords. Now what bar chords are all about is by having a clamp, okay, and you, with your first finger, and basically it's like so, can you see it there? And then what happens is you make your various chords from that. And then the third kind of chord is what's called a movable position chord. It works the same kind of way as a bar chord, where a bar chord you can shift it up and down. But a movable position chord doesn't have a bar, doesn't have the clamp, so to speak, you know, that we slide up and down and then make our chords from. So essentially what you can do is you can, say, play a C chord, slide it up, so on. Probably the most popular movable position chord I know of is the 7 sharp 9 chord, and particularly the E7 sharp 9, so famous for just being called the Hendrix chord, the Jimi Hendrix chord. You know. So on it goes, you know, that kind of thing. And what happens is, once again, you slide that up and down, and that's the way that it works. Now that I've explained the 3 main kinds of chords in a physical kind of way, what I want to do is just turn it upside down. With open chords, you can have, you know, chords that take up, you need 3 fingers for. You can have chords that only need 2 fingers, for instance, and all that sort of stuff. What can you do with your spare fingers? Now, if I take the C chord like I did with the opening little thing that I did, and I just played a C chord, my little finger is free. So how about if I just maybe let it roam? Let's go back to that song that might have C for 4 bars. Fine, but what happens if I did this? Interesting. Pick your mark with this. You don't need to do it in every single song, but shapes of chords create different opportunities to fill out a little bit, especially if you're doing like a solo guitar version, you know, if it's just you in a pub sort of thing, doing a gig, and you're actually playing songs that are created by bands. Okay, you have to fill it out. You have to think like, well, the bass line, got to think the rhythm from the drummer, and all of that stuff that goes with it, you know, sort of thing. So what I'm getting at is that you can take a basic chord, and then with a loose finger you can add what we call suspensions. Now, a suspended note is something that you add to a chord already. Now, if we take a C chord, it's obviously built from the C major scale, which is, there it is there. Now, if we take that, sorry about the buzz there, but basically what I'm doing is I'm tending to overlay the major scale onto the chord that derives from it, so to speak. Now, I don't want to get too technical, I just want to get more physical. And what I've done is I've taken a C chord, and it has a typical diagonal shape against the fingerboard. Now, what happens if I just use other diagonal shapes, like say, go from C to say an F major 7? My little finger can do all the same business. Down to G, back to F, you know, and add little pick hammer flicks, things like that to it. So on it goes like that. So a little bit more of this after the break. I hope you're getting something out of it already. Okay.